morning, Monday. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. Hope you guys are having a great day as we are rounding out the beginning of the week. It is the end of March, March the 28th, as we are about to take a look at our educational opportunities for breakouts and reversal trades. Take a look at what the market does today. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get the alerts and the updates. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. So last night, one of the things I was taking a look at in our live trade room was the fact that our momentum has really slowed on all of our equity markets. We can see here that our strong uptrend has definitely shown some weakness in the last couple of days. Now, as such, we looked at a very aggressive entry last night on a 15-minute level right up in here. So one of the things that we, when coming into that level, we did get a decent little entry on here as it gave us a touch and then moved away. Unfortunately, it then just stalled, right? And so we have a 6-candle rule that says if it hasn't moved our way in 6 candles, we should probably get out of the trade. And notice how it's really now started to come back up. We were able to create a new high in the overnight hours. Now, I will say, part of I'm not a big fan of the set it and forget it style of trading, and so I wasn't awake to take a look at those levels. But even if you were and you entered that position, the 15-minute, the 6-candle rule told you should probably get out of these trades. So it shouldn't have really cost you anything in this position. Now, the Russell was the one I was actually most excited about getting some sort of an entry into, because in reality, it's been our weakest market last week. And I thought this made for a pretty good small time frame entry, giving you an opportunity to maybe play this thing straight down for the next couple of days, if indeed we were unable to get. So it's a kind of a small entry with a price target all the way down here and potentially all the way down here. Now, that didn't come to fruition. We didn't get the movement that we expected out of that level, and primarily, the level itself was pretty good. We actually wound up getting almost a 2-to-1 move out of this if you use this tight stop area up here. You wind up getting a little move out of it, but then it just kind of just popped right through that level. And so, with that being said, now what are we looking at? Well, I think that you still have a potential for an upside breakout above 2080. I really like the breakout possibilities here in the Dow above 34,824. Those breakout possibilities do also exist in the S&P as well as the Nasdaq. But remember that the S&P is coming up to a little supply area, and any supply area above us now has to be a confirmation entry because we are in a confirmed uptrend. So we are coming to at 45.58, and we can see that by going back to this area here. And that's a pretty good little level where we have us rally base, a pretty nice drop out of that zone. That's a pretty nice little level up there that we are approaching. So keep an eye on that. If you're already long, look for this as kind of a target, as a place to think about. We may get a pullback. And if we do get a pullback, we don't really have a lot of clean areas. Probably here would be the best one. Moving over to energies and metals, crude oil definitely looks a little bit more enticing. We talked about the fact that we wanted to see basing right at this level, and we got basing right here, and we've just broken down. So if you took the short on crude oil, it did give you a little bit of an entry, and if you didn't get that short, this little 15-minute area, once again, we came into it. You may have closed it out after 6 candles. It didn't really go anywhere right away, but we did get the breakout trade here just in the last little bit. So if you want to be short crude oil, I think you've got a good opportunity to be short right through here. Let me remove those other levels. I think you also have this, if we get a retest of this area right up in here, but it definitely is setting up for a potential crude oil short. Gold, we came down to a little bit of a potential area right in here. This is kind of its own little doji. We talked about this as a confirmation long, and we blew right through it, which means no entry on that setup. But it did leave in its wake a really nice area of supply for a retest, and that area would be right up in here. If I take a look at this on a 4-hour chart, we will see that yes, we're climbing a bit higher, but our little demand area that was confirmation, we cut through. So now you've got a little supply area right up in there. We're fairly sideways in gold, so not a lot of great setups, not a lot of great movement. But I would look up there for the 60-minute area of supply for a potential reversal. Natural gas, we talked about nat gas last night. Nat gas has a really nice pullback area right in here at 397 by 379. So look for a pullback into that region if we get that one today. And then copper last night, we had spoken about this 15-minute level right up here. This actually worked out very, very cleanly on this little rally base. Nice drop. We gave that a really nice touch and go. So if you were awake for that one gave you a little bit of a setup. I'm going to leave that level in. I think that level is still valid. It's just now because we've traded into it and less than 50% of the way into it becomes a confirmation entry. So those would be our levels for our energies and metals. A couple of things we looked at in bonds and currencies yesterday. The 10-year note, our ZN, we've got a really nice supply level up in here. We rallied up overnight, but there is the origin of the initial move down, which we're coming into right now. So if you really wanted to take a short, I wouldn't be mad at you coming off of this level. I think the better one is up here, this 15-minute area at 122, 170. And that 15-minute area is a wick over wick level just below this breakout. That's a very nice little trap area. So keep that one in mind for today. And then also the euro, little bit surprised on the euro. I was hoping we would get quality basing in here. We did not, and price broke down through here. We didn't get quality basing, so then I thought, okay, well, here we're gonna have a nice little supply area, and then boom, we popped right through there, and now starting to come back down. So usually, this is going to occur because of some sort of a news-driven movement where price comes back up and comes right back down. Unfortunately, didn't get a basing entry, and if you took the short on here as a set it and forget it, you probably quickly got the stop out, as it did come just a tick above the pivot. And sometimes that's going to happen when you're dealing with a kind of a 4-hour sideways market. So stopped out on that one as that didn't necessarily give you a great setup. And then the last one that I've got on crude on this one is Canadian dollar. We had a really good demand area down here, came close to it without getting in. And so, we made it a confirmation already because the 15-minute is not quite as clean. I would be a little bit concerned, especially since we put in a new low here without putting in a new high. So at this point, I'm going to remove that level. I don't like that level quite as much this morning. I would actually want to see something a bit lower for potential demand. And on the smaller time frame, the 15-minute, look to right there, which was just recently put in as a potential 15-minute reversal area. Make sure that is in purple. Remember, 15-minute levels are always in purple, and 60-minute and above are going to be in green. All right, and then last one I'm going to take a very quick look at is Bitcoin. We do have a gap up in our Bitcoin futures. We gapped above our potential breakout area, so we did have a very nice strong gap up. Now, this could be a setup for a gap and go play for those of you that trade the gap and go. We got above the first candle's high. Your stop would go below the first candle's low. So if you wanted to be long Bitcoin, you're only a little bit beyond the entry. Your next real good stopping point would be the area of supply somewhere up in here, or 50,000 is the whole round number. So I think that actually sets up for a good play. And then Ether, we've been looking at Ether on long opportunities now for a while. This one also gave us a gap and go, and it's continuing to run higher. Certainly look for a gap fill area trade. But that's all I have for today, everybody. If you guys have any questions, as always, shoot us an email, support@tradersarmy.com. Till tomorrow, I will talk to you soon. See ya. Hey, thanks for joining us. If you like what we do, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's the only way the computers know that you're actually alive and really care. And go to tradersarmy.com today to learn a bit more. And if you want to see some of our other videos, click here in the box.